In this part of the audit, the auditor is auditing an aspect of the organization assembly process on the shop floor. Watch this video to determine if the auditor is using effective auditing techniques.
So AJ, we're at press lens to housing. Can you just talk me through what's happening here?
So what you've just witnessed Jake perform is the lens press stage of this assembly. So we don't want to interrupt him because he has to focus on what he's doing.
Right.
So I'll just wait for him to move on to the next stage.
Yeah.
And then I'll talk you through it. Okay, so what you've seen is him pressing the lens on. So what he had to do first was deionize the lamp to make sure there's no debris in the part, as it says on the control plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then from that it moves on to the lens press section, and where the machine is already automated to conduct the process.
Okay.
And then once that's completed, he can then move the lamp into the parts trolley for curing.
Okay, so this is for an IATF OEM,
That's
I
correct,
understand. Are there any customer-specific requirements?
Yes, they are. We do not supply directly to the OEM. We are tier 2 to a tier 1 supplier, and they have cascaded down the specific requirements down to us. So where it's required, we've noted them onto our control plan, or what I have here is our quality standard, which is also directly from the OEM.
Right, okay. And is there any inspection conducted at this stage?
Yeah, so what is inspected is the lamp is reviewed for overall quality before it's actually glued, so ensure that gives us a last chance to remove any debris. And the inspection standard is what I have right here in front of me, which tells us the criteria of acceptable or not acceptable.
Okay, and can we do any rework on the lens once it's gone in, or?
We can't do any more rework. At this point, the lamp is complete, and therefore, if there's anything that's rejected, it has to be put aside to be reviewed and then eventually scrapped off.
Right, okay. And I saw that they were going on to a trolley here. Where do they go to next?
So after it goes to the trolley is labelled and it goes into a waiting area whilst the glue goes off. So it needs a curing period for the glue to be completely solid.
Okay, and how long is that period?
It's detailed in the control plan. It's 8 hours minimum curing period. Yeah.
And do we have a process for ensuring that it is a minimum of 8 hours?
What process we have is, do you write down the time of curing on the card for the trolley? So that gives us the indication of how long the part has been in the trolley for.
That's great.
Okay.
Brilliant. Thank you, AJ.
Okay, no problem.
So let's summarize. When auditing, auditors need to collect objective evidence, which can be gained by reviewing documented information, by observation, or by hearing. In the start of this video, the auditor was observing the process without asking questions, which is perfectly acceptable. Secondly, when auditing production, reference needs to be made to the relevant process FMEA, control plan, and work instructions. It was clear the auditor was making reference to the control plan and the work instructions during this audit. When auditing, every effort should be made to talk to the people that are performing the work. But in some cases, this may not be possible or safe to do so, as disturbing the operator while performing the work may itself introduce risk and result in non-conforming product. It was stated that rework in this part of the assembly process was not possible. If it was found in the remainder of the audit that rework truly is not applicable, the organization may better justify that this IATF requirement is not applicable at the time of audit. However, it cannot be stated in the quality management system as a permissible exclusion, because it's stated in the IATF, the only permissible exclusion for this automotive QMS standard relates to product design and development requirements, within ISO 9001, section 8.3. In this case, the exclusion shall be justified and maintained as documented information. So it's clear that rework cannot be stated as a permissible exclusion, but it may not be applicable at the time of any audit. In this particular audit, the auditor should focus on how the organization ensures they meet any relevant customer-specific requirements. In this case, the organization must ensure they meet their customer-specific requirements, which is the tier 1 supplier, rather than the OEM. Finally, the auditor should follow audit trails to verify the process of managing the correct cure time for the adhesive that has been used to seal this product. So let's summarize the key learning points. When auditing, auditors need to collect objective evidence, which can be gained by reviewing documented information, observing a process, or listening. When auditing production, reference must be made to the applicable PFMEA, control plan, and any relevant work instructions. At the time of any audit, an organization may be able to justify certain requirements of IATF 16949 as not applicable, in this case, rework. But these requirements cannot be stated as permissible exclusions. The only permissible exclusion relates to product design, where an organization does not have the product design responsibility. Finally, auditors should verify an organization has an effective process to identify, review, and implement customer-specific requirements for their customers, which might not necessarily be the ultimate OEM that will incorporate the product into the relevant vehicle.